Is there something that happens in our 35 to 45 and onward range that our sleep starts to become less consistent?
Well, particularly for women, 40 to 45 becomes a critical time that they might not even be aware of. Because what we know, and you've probably heard of this before, I've heard it on your podcast, women are born with the amount of eggs that we're ever going to have at birth. It's a miracle, right? And we slowly use those such that at age 40, we only have 1% left. Well, it's our eggs that make our estrogen. So as our total number of eggs declines, so does our estrogen. And that's about the time when women go from this normal cyclic pattern of hormones up and down to haywire. And that's when we don't build muscle as well. We don't build bone as well. But our sleep becomes disturbed because our circadian rhythm is off. And so it is not uncommon for women in their 40s. And this is such a common time. We're all waking up at 3:37 in the morning, not only because our sugar is dipping and our bodies are waking us up to save our lives, but because of the hormonal fluctuations. So sleep becomes really difficult. But think about in our early 40s, because many women have chosen to put off childbearing, they may have just come off of the time when their children are up all night. And now they're plagued by not being able to sleep. So it becomes a real big problem. For men don't realize it, but men can start losing testosterone in their early 40s too. And the caveat to that is your testosterone may still be in the normal range, 250 to over 1,000, but most men don't check their testosterone when they're 20 or 30. So you still may be in the normal range, but your normal, I'm making a random person out here, your normal may be 850 and now you're 450. So for your body, it's a dramatic change and that affects sleep cycles and everything. So that's why sleep in our 40s becomes more difficult.
That is fascinating. I don't think I've ever heard both those explanations for it in that way. So what do we do about it? Because I know so many people, so many friends that are going through exactly what you're saying. Their sleep has started to decline. They wake up more often in the middle of the night. They find it harder to go back to sleep. What changes do they need to make? Because if sleep is the pillar of everything that we're about to talk about, I think it's really important that we help people figure that out.
I totally agree with you because there was a time in my life when I didn't sleep in graduate school, and then I had a baby, and then I was in residency, and it frightens me how much sleep I lost because we know now it's so critical for longevity and biology. But the things I'm about to say to you are not rocket science, and yet I find they're hard for people to get in a habit of doing. Science shows us we must go to bed and wake up at the same time to set our daily clock. You know, during the night, we build up a protein called adenosine. We wake up and it's at our highest. We try to see the sun unless it's the dead of winter and to start our day. But if we have uneven sleep schedules, then that clock is off. So protecting your go to bed time and protecting your waking up time. So for instance, I live on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast. I have stayed on East Coast time. And
that happens to me when I come the other way.
Do you do that? Yes. And then you're not exhausted or jet lagged. It's a little weird if you have to do business or go out, but if I'm having a party at my house, I'm like, see yourselves out, guys. You have fun. I'm going to bed. It's 9:30. So for our house, it's 9:30 to 5, like clockwork. Number one. Number two, I am not a holder to intermittent fasting, but what I am a holder to is time restricted, meaning I'm going to eat as early as possible so that by 9:30, everything is out of my digestive system. I'm spending no energy, and that helps us sleep better. Number three, I always say, don't throw rocks at me. But in midlife, especially for midlife women, alcohol is a total sleep disruptor. Because when we're young, we think, oh, of course, it makes me sleep better. What it does is it makes us pass out. But if you're tracking your sleep, you'll see that you're not entering into the really deep sleep levels. And this is being talked about a lot lately, except I don't see people adjusting to it. I mean, when I find that when I work with my longevity patients, they're willing to do almost anything except give up the glass or 2 or 4 of wine at dinner because it's so cultural. It's so almost like a ritual. And people come to believe that they need that to relax when in fact it inhibits their sleep. So timing of sleep, we talked about not eating 3 hours. We've talked about alcohol. And then, something I do, something that's very helpful is I take my magnesium, which is a supplement that I think most people need, especially for bones, at night. I also suggest that women, if they're taking progesterone, take it at night. And then all the other lifestyle things, blue glasses, turn off your phones, which I find hard to do personally, but those are all legitimate ways to help regulate. And then as things as silly as if you find you're waking up at 3:37 every morning like clockwork, you know what the clock is going to say. That may be your blood sugar. And I know it's my blood sugar because I often wear a continuous glucose monitor. So if you eat a little bit of protein right before bed, just a titch, not a meal, not enough to disrupt this other advice I've given you, that will make your sugar not dip so low.
Wow.
And your liver will not, and your body will not wake you up because your body wakes you up. I know because I wear a CGM, when I wake up that way, my blood sugar is 50 or 40 and my body's just trying to save my life.
And what do you want it to be when you wake up?
Well, fasting blood glucose should be 85 or lower. That is the level that we should all strive for. Not 100, not 110, which many people walk around with in midlife. 85.